So how much money do you think you'll make doing whatever it is you want to do? That dream job, that opportunity, the thing you've always planned for, the thing that you went to school for. You majored or you minored in an area and you said, that's what I'm going to do and I'm going to be rich.
What do you do, bro?
What do you mean, what do I do?
For work, what do you do?
Here's the one thing no one tells you. Not your high school counselor, not your advisor in your major program at college or university. The one thing everybody could tell you, but they don't. And that is how much money you can expect to make doing your dream job.
You make a lot of money?
Yeah, I do all right for myself.
That number of how much you can make over your entire working career of, say, 35 years on average, it's knowable. It's right there. The Bureau of Labor Statistics tracks it, follows it, advertises it. So why don't they tell you that when you're wondering, should I become a French basket weaver? Should I study this odd field of Portuguese pottery? Or should I go into pre-med? There's a number. It's out there. They don't tell you.
I tell you what. You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
Okay, that's my complaint. So we'll get to those numbers, but I want to tell you that there are 5 types of professions, just 5, where you can have unlimited upside to the amount of money you can make throughout your career. Every other type of career, there's a cap, there's a high edge to it that you will never be able to exceed unless you drive for Uber and gig your way into millions. You're going to be making just about what everybody else makes in those professions. There's no breakthrough to the upside.
Hey, Paulie, what's up? No, everything's fine. Hey, listen, I quit.
So what are those 5 professions? Click the like button and I'll let you know. Hi, I'm James Callahan, and this is the Do-Over Show, and I've spent my entire adult career either working for a living or helping other people find ways to work for a living. Yeah, I'm a college and university professor, an adjunct, and I always get questions from students when they actually hear me talk about what they can expect when they actually stop paying for their education and start being paid to use their education. And that is, they want to know, wait a minute, how much can I make doing that?
Whoa! I just got invited to give the commencement address at Harvard this year.
That's amazing.
I remember you did it 10 years ago when Priscilla graduated. I was there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. 30 years later than I was supposed to, but I enjoyed it.
They know we didn't actually graduate, right?
Oh, that is the best part.
I thought I could make more. We all think that we're going to be the exception. We all think that if we drop out of Harvard like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, that we're going to be billionaires like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. Well, I always tell students, look, you get your ass into Harvard, and then if you're bored by it, then you can drop out and become a billionaire. But until that, just put your head down, do your work, find out which field of study, what careers will lead to the kind of life and income that you want, and then we'll have a conversation. So what are those 5 professions? It's really simple. There are 5 types of careers that have unlimited upside. Doesn't mean you will have unlimited upside. It just means that you can have unlimited upside. And those are law, medicine, finance, tech, and sales. Law, medicine, tech, finance, sales. Those 5, that's it? How do I get into those jobs? Well, most of them you can tell require, higher education, grad school, professional schools. Yeah, they require some more things. So what about people who just want to be an entrepreneur? Most entrepreneurs fail, as in over 90% of people who try to be an entrepreneur fail, and those that succeed don't become rich. They just become responsible to be somebody else's boss. I saw a video recently of someone who said, you hope to be an entrepreneur because you think it's going to be a romantic life. What you really mean is that you don't want a boss because you don't want to answer to people. I get it. But it also means you're asking people to say, punch you in the face every single day, because being responsible for work, for a job, for a payroll, for the success of something, it's all on you and there's no one else to blame. It's not the market's fault. It's not the customer's fault. It's your fault if you fail. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, congratulations. Welcome to a life of failure. So let's look at the basics. Do you know what the average median salary in the United States in 2024 is? About $64,000. Not household, median salary for one person who's employed. Now, there are a lot of factors that go into that. It could be their geography. For example, the average median salary in Massachusetts is in the $80,000 range, but in Mississippi, which is the lowest, it's in the $44,000 range. Which is back to some of my best advice. If you want to make more money by doing the work you're doing now or the work you hope to do, move. Go to an area that pays more. Cost of living will be also higher, but you'll have the chance to actually make more just in average median income. The other factors that influence that are, of course, education. If you have a high school diploma as opposed to somebody with a grad degree, you're not only less employable with just a high school diploma, but also you're going to make less over your working career. It's just the way it is. Why? Because there are skill sets. Is it because people don't like high school graduates and they prefer MBAs? What a graduate degree usually shows is that you can do hard work and you can finish it, you can be successful, and that you have a basic body of knowledge that an employer can hire rather than just try to infuse into you magically so that you can become valuable to them. You come with value already. So you end up getting more responsibilities. It doesn't mean you're going to be a great manager. It doesn't mean you're going to be a great leader. It just means that you have taken the risk and invested in yourself enough that you've shown a prospective employer that, well, you're worth value, so something of value to them. Now, the other thing is sometimes the area in which you work. For example, certain areas pay higher in certain markets. French basket weaving and Portuguese pottery expertise are not in high demand today. So what are the high demand jobs? And that gets to the area that I started with, and that is that there are 5 areas that, because of their demand and because of the financial circumstances we're in today, you have the potential to make an unlimited upside. Doesn't mean you will. It just means you can. Okay, within law, the average lawyer doesn't make millions of dollars. No matter how many TV shows you watch, the average lawyer makes about $140,000 throughout the United States, which means that for every one of those lawyers making $5, $10, $15 million being a partner in a fantastic firm, there are a bunch of Joe Schmoes and Jill Schmoes, I guess so, working in local offices, the mall, strip mall, working in an office building, doing wills, doing estates, doing divorce, doing family law, that are making less than $100,000 a year. Just because you go to law school doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire. But the profession itself means that if you are that special, unique person, there's no cap. If you are a special or unique kindergarten teacher, you're always going to be capped. But a lawyer has the potential of developing their skill set and their location and their expertise and their wind in order to, leverage that into an unlimited upside. Now, the other area, and this is the broadest category of people that make more money, and that is between $150,000 and $450,000 on average, and that is something in medicine. Now, if you're a nurse in California, an RN, you can make over $130,000. The average nurse is an RN throughout the United States, averages about $100,000. That's good money. It's hard work, and you have to do the higher ed to get there and get the certification and work for a good hospital, for example. But it's possible, and that's the area where there's the highest concentration of higher wage earners. So if you do more, if you earn more, for example, if you're in cosmetics, plastic surgery, you have a greater upside, greater potential. If you're an OBGYN, you're just going to be on call 24/7, 365 and delivering babies and doing C-sections. Congratulations. Can you make money? Yes, but they're not going to break through to the top end unless you're in a special area in medicine. The third area is finance, and that is working with other people's money. Now, not just a financial planner, although there are people who do that. Some famous YouTubers do it. And they do make some good money. On average, they make less than $200,000 working in finance, and they usually work on a percentage basis of how much work they generate. So how do you generate more? You work for high-value clients, or you work for a bank that attracts high-value clients, and you excel. You become the Jamie Dimon of your graduating class. And there's an opportunity for you to truly have unlimited upside in that area. Now, if you think, I'm going to sit at I'm going to day trade my way through Bitcoin and crypto, and I'm going to trade futures and I'm going to become rich. Yes, there are people that do that. But most people who try to trade for a living, use their own money, or even a prop firm, fail. Yeah, they fail. That is, they lose more money than they make. So great. That means you need another job making money to generate income so that you can lose the money, so that you can be a day trader and you can sit at your desk when the market's open and then do charts after hours. Now, the fourth area is tech, IT. And you can get hired as a coder out of college, between $200,000 and $300,000. If you work for one of the top elite paying firms, you get a job with Google, Facebook, Meta, and you can be fantastically paid. Most people within this field actually work multiple jobs, and they work as entrepreneurs. They work as contract workers, and they have an opportunity to make unlimited upside, but they have to trade their hours for money. And whenever you're trading your time for money, you run out of time, and therefore there's a cap or the upside to what you can make. So how do people become multimillionaires? They take a risk. They get in on the ground floor of a startup. You become somebody in tech and IT that's working with the startup, and there are still a lot of businesses. AI is hot now, and you can catch that wave. And you can find a way, if you're in the right company, and you find the right company by, well, actually not just looking at the field, but looking at the product or the services, the SaaS that you're offering. And you think, okay, is this something of value and in demand? Because you need customers in order to make money. You can be on the ground floor, get equity in a startup. You trade that, though, for income today. So you're not going to take the big paycheck. You're going to take a lower paycheck because you're going to receive equity in the future earnings, the possibility. Get in on the ground floor, and you exchange your time for future equity. That is where a lot of people made their wealth, because they exchanged their knowledge, their time, for future equity. Think chamath polyhapatia. Now, the last area is an area that when I tell people this, they usually are surprised, and that is sales. I'm not talking about inside sales where you're sitting at a counter, you're selling coffee or cameras or something. I'm talking about outside sales, B2B, when you go to somebody and you have a chance of making, now, you have a chance of making a fantastic upside depending on your commission scale, and as long as your commission scale is not capped. See, some people in sales that are super successful find that their employer who's paying them to sell their product, their goods, their services, all of a sudden the employer will come back and say, hey, can we renegotiate that agreement because you're making a lot of money? Well, so is the company, because they just take a percentage. And when that happens to you in sales, you usually find a new sales opportunity, because you're not the problem. The company is. They just don't like to see you succeed like that. And it happens. But who does it happen to? Okay, sales is an unusual field, because most people think, oh, I'm going to sell cars, or I'm going to sell coffee, or I'm going to sell cameras. That's great. Those are all capped. There's a limit, because you're being paid by somebody. Even car sales, it's a burnout job. Most people don't do it successfully for a long time. And your success usually depends on things beyond your control, beyond just trying to schmooze your way and get somebody. What will it take to get you in a car today? Beyond the ability to meet people and get them to trust you. You're usually capped in selling cars, for example, by what finance rates are available. Is it 0% financing? Is it 3% financing? You charge people 8% financing? It's going to limit the number of cars you sell, depending on the incentives of the finance company connected with the new cars you're selling. The other thing is the cars you're selling, and that is, do they have a good rep or a bad rep? Do you have a good year or a bad year? Then you're dependent upon the economy itself. Okay, see, those are all examples that you're only going to make a certain percentage. People who are making an unlimited upside in sales are usually in a professional field, medical sales, industrial sales, even some repair, not necessarily OEM, because there's usually a company that wants to take most of that money. It's usually people who have an advanced degree or a skill set. They're engineers. That is, they're professionals within their field, and they use their professional education. Instead of the practice of that, they go into selling the products associated with that, or the services associated with that. And those people in sales can make a lot of money, and there's no limit. They're limited by their ability and their effort. That is, it's directly reflected in how much effort they're willing to put in and make it work. For example, when a salesperson who is successful, they don't sit back and take it easy saying, oh, I'm making so much money, I don't have to work hard. In fact, it's when they don't need leads that they're trying to generate leads. A good salesperson is always trying to generate more. Oh, for example, sales would also include somebody in real estate, a broker, an agent, who, there are some superstars who make a lot of money, and there's a commission base to that, and they take a percentage, and they build up relationships, and they get into higher quality markets. So if you're selling homes where the average median home price is $150,000 compared to $1.5 million, the percentages are percentages, and they're pretty much the same. So if you're working in a market that has a lower price point, you're going to be making less. Now, sure, you could generate more by selling more, but usually a market like that doesn't sell more. Houses don't move as fast, and there's not many people with that much money who want to pay you a percentage, same percentage, in order to sell those houses. So if you think you can sell 1,000 houses to be a millionaire, congratulations. How about you sell 10 houses to be a millionaire? That's the difference in market. And there we are back to where I started from. Your ability to make money is highly connected, directly correlated to the geographic area and the economy of where you work and what people are willing to pay and what things are valued at. That is the price of things, but the value people associated with it. And if you're back to being an entrepreneur because you think, I'm going to just be my own boss and make millions, what are you selling? Yeah, what are you selling? Are you selling something of value to people? Is it in demand? Does supply and demand dictate that you're going to be able to charge more for it? The price point is going to be greater because the value to people is greater. The scarcity of something is greater. The fear of missing out is greater. That's what determines whether or not you open up the 16th coffee shop on a block with 15 others, whether or not you're going to be successful or not. Is there really a need for another coffee shop on that block? Even though you think your coffee is better and you think your experience in your coffee shop is going to be unique, you're competing with 15 other people and you're not special. I know. Your mom thinks you're special. That's good for you and your mom. Stop listening to your mother and start listening to people who know how much money you can make out there, and start looking for fields and areas and types, or adjust your expectations. Oh my goodness. Adjust? You mean you want me to have lower expectations? I want you to be realistic. Back to what they don't tell you in college, back to what they don't tell you in career counseling, is how much money you can expect to make. I'm going to drop a link in the description below and an easy way for you to find out the area, the geography, the amount of money you're hoping to make, and what's realistic. Do the work. Find out. Have realistic expectations. And then, if you think you're as special as your mom always told you you were, you go for it. Hey, thanks for being part of the Do Over Show. Please, could you tap the like button? Because it really helps. And while you're down there, how about you subscribe and ring that notifications bell so you don't miss the next episode. I'm so glad you found me, and I found you. Thanks.